I'm Ashley Thorne, and if the truth triggers you, you're in the right place.
And I'm Diane Albright, just a mama bear with a glass of Chardonnay and a lot of questions for the people running this country.
This is Walter Blackwood, looking for a bit of order in the encroaching chaos.
And Will Sterling speaking, wondering why the people in charge seem to want the rest of us to live in a card trick.
Oh, we had a day yesterday, didn't we? Between the SPLC wire fraud and those Doge job cuts, the elites are absolutely shaking in their loafers.
Really? Did you see the SPLC report? Funding the fire just so they can sell the extinguisher. It's exactly what we talked about. But today, folks, the world is moving even faster. We've got a busy show, from the brink of war in the Middle East to why your steak is costing as much as a used car.
Plus, AOC thinks she's the next messiah, and the FBI is finally doing its job. Let's get into it.
I have to start with this Iran situation because honestly, what is going on here? We talked yesterday about the president clipping the rudders of those Iranian tankers, which was brilliant, by the way. But now we have Netanyahu on 60 Minutes basically saying the job isn't done.
It's no joke, man.
Netanyahu says they've got nearly 1,000 pounds of uranium, enriched to 60%. And when the interviewer asked how he gets it out, he just looked at the camera and said, "You go in and you take it out."
I love it. I absolutely love it. No notes. That is the only language a regime like that understands. Strength. Period.
Oh, please. Can you imagine the faint fretting in the State Department right now? Oh, but we need more Pakistani-mediated dialogue. Trump already saw their counter-proposal this morning and posted on Truth Social that it's, and I quote, totally unacceptable.
Why are they even trying to negotiate? They want the Strait of Hormuz open, they want a ceasefire in Lebanon, but they won't give up the uranium? It's a card trick, Ashley.
It's the Victimhood Industrial Complex on a global scale, Will. Tehran plays the victim while they've got Muddy Water, that AI cyber group, hacking into our critical infrastructure using false flags. They're trying to start a fire in our house while they cry about their rudders being clipped. Let's be real. They aren't interested in peace. They're interested in time.
Well, that's the thing. You see, the nuclear threshold is a manifestation of the ultimate chaos dragon. Once that fire is lit, the hierarchy of global stability essentially evaporates. Roughly speaking, the Iranians are playing a game of metaphysical brinkmanship. They're testing whether the West still has the moral stomach to enforce a boundary.
Oh, Mr. Dragon, please don't enrich any more uranium. We'll give you more pallets of cash. Honey, no. Trump is standing there with a fire extinguisher and a pair of handcuffs.
Exactly.
But think about the Netanyahu framing. You go in and take it out? Is that where we're at? Is that the reality? We're looking at a physical seizure of nuclear material?
It's bloody complicated. If you don't remove the material, the potential for a catastrophe is baked into the architecture of the region. It's a tragedy of the individual writ large. If we don't act, we're essentially saying that the most dangerous actors on the planet have a right to the most dangerous tools. It's heartbreaking to think of the youth who will have to clean up this mess if we don't finish it now.
Walter, I'm sorry, but nobody's cleaning up a nuclear Iran. You stop it now or you lose the game. Trump knows that. Netanyahu knows that. The only people who don't know it are the people in D.C. who think a Pakistani-mediated ceasefire is worth more than the paper it's printed on.
Well, while we're worrying about nuclear war, I'm over here worrying about how anyone is going to afford a 4th of July barbecue. Have you seen these beef prices?
Literally.
Ground beef is nearly $7 a pound. That is a 48% increase. And Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins came out and said we have the smallest cattle herd since the 1950s. The 50s, people, back when we only had 3 TV channels?
Well, when you tell ranchers that cows are climate criminals, what do you expect? Here's the reality. The radical left has spent years demonizing ranching. They want us eating bugs or those lab-grown meat pucks that taste like wet cardboard.
It's the devouring mother archetype, Ashley. They want to protect the earth by starving the children. It's an inversion of the natural hierarchy. Cattle have been the backbone of human civilization since forever. Roughly speaking, when you attack the producer, you're attacking the foundational stability of the family dinner.
And it's not just the climate alarmism, Walter. Now we've got screwworms, flesh-eating parasites. The border is closed to live cattle from Mexico because of a screwworm outbreak. So we've got a supply shock on top of a regulatory nightmare.
Wait, so let me get this straight. We can't get cattle across the border because of worms? But we can't stop people from crossing the border? What is going on here?
Bullseye, Will.
Seriously, 1 million head of cattle a year are stalled. But the ruling class is more worried about whether the ranchers are using sustainable grazing techniques. It's almost like they want the prices to stay high.
They do. They want you dependent. But look at the hidden tax, too. The CEI just put out a report saying federal regulations cost the average U.S. household over $15,000 a year. That's your vacation. That's your kids' braces. That's a lot of Chardonnay, let me tell you.
Excuse me? $15,000 just to comply with the whims of some unelected bureaucrat in a windowless office? This is why I say life is hard, but the government makes it impossible.
It's the weight of the bureaucracy. It becomes so heavy that the individual can no longer stand upright. It's no joke when the cost of existing exceeds the value of the labor. You get a society in collapse. You get resentment.
And don't get me started on the Justice Department finally settling that meatpacking antitrust case. Trump's administration is trying to break up the big 4 meatpackers to bring prices down.
Which is a populist move, Will. That's your territory.
It is. It's the only way. You've got these massive corporations squeezed between the government and the consumer, and the rancher is the one getting the short end of the stick. But before we move on to how the cities are falling apart, we need to talk about why we can even have this conversation.
Real independence isn't free, friends. This entire network, from this show to our flagship, The Neural Daily, exists because one man, Eric Christensen, decided to build it himself.
He didn't ask for a government grant. He invested his own capital and technical expertise to architect a media platform that respects your intelligence.
If you value that kind of meritocratic building, back it up. And don't limit yourself to just the politics. Get the full strategic picture by subscribing to The Neural Daily and the rest of the network.
Support the builder, and you support the mission. Now, speaking of people who definitely didn't build anything, can we talk about New York City?
Oh, please. I was looking at this report from back home, the Access Denied report from the DOI. It is a horror show.
Is this the one about the kids?
18 children died in families that the Child Welfare Agency, the ACS, was supposed to be monitoring. 18. And the report says the ACS couldn't even get into the homes because the parents just didn't open the door.
Are you kidding me? Honey, no. If the state has a case open on you, they don't get to just say no to a check-in. Where is the accountability?
That's the point, Diane. The system is so focused on equity and not traumatizing people that they let children literally die behind closed doors. It's the Victimhood Industrial Complex again. The parent's right to privacy is being put above a child's right to breathe.
It's the collapse of the protective hierarchy. It's archetypal evil. The state takes the authority of the parent, but refuses the responsibility of the protector. If you can't protect the most vulnerable, you have no moral claim to govern. It's bloody heartbreaking.
And the NYPD? They've got this community response team that former Mayor Adams loved, and now a federal monitor says they haven't audited over 2,000 police stops. 2,000!
Well, of course not. Oversight is burdensome, didn't you know?
But think about the frame here. They create an aggressive unit to clean up the streets, but then they forget the oversight? That just gives the left all the ammunition they need to dismantle the police entirely. Why are they doing this? It's either total incompetence or a setup.
It's both, Will. It's the ingrates running the show. They want the chaos so they can demand more power to fix it. Oh, the police are unaudited. Better defund them and replace them with a sensitivity board.
Exactly. Give me a break.
Speaking of sensitive, did you see AOC talking to David Axelrod? She's not just ambitious, she's unboundedly ambitious.
She says her ambition isn't positional. She doesn't want to be senator or president. She wants to change the country.
I don't want a title. I just want to be your supreme moral leader. Give me a break, Alexandria. She's polling at 10% for the 2028 primary, trailing Kamala and Gavin. She is absolutely looking for a promotion.
Well, that's the thing. When you claim your ambition is for change rather than position, you're positioning yourself as a messianic figure. You're saying the rules of the hierarchy don't apply to you because you serve a higher cause. It's incredibly dangerous. It's how the chaos dragon gets into the castle.
It's just more narcissism. She treats the country like her personal TikTok feed. But look at what's happening in the real world. Wisconsin. A school board might stop a high school band from playing a piece of music because it has LGBTQ ties.
Wait, a band piece?
Yes, it's a piece by a trans composer. And the board is saying, wait a minute, is this educational or is this activism?
Good! Finally! Why does every single aspect of a child's life have to be a billboard for someone's identity? Can't they just play the trumpet? Is that too much to ask?
Roughly speaking, the curriculum has been degraded to the point where the pursuit of beauty or excellence has been replaced by the pursuit of representation. At the University of Chicago, a professor actually quantified it. The curriculum is basically dissolving into ideological mush.
It's literally everywhere. But you know what's not mush? The FBI's Operation Iron Pursuit.
Okay, let's talk about a win. Kash Patel and Todd Blanche are not playing games.
This is what I'm talking about. 1 month. April. 350 child sex abuse offenders arrested. 200 kids recovered.
200? Thank God. Finally, someone is prioritizing the actual predators instead of parents at PTA meetings.
And did you see the case in Utah? A 10-year-old was taken by a transgender parent through Canada, through Mexico, all the way to Cuba.
Cuba?
Cuba. And the report says the FBI intervened because they were worried the child was being taken abroad for unauthorized medical procedures.
You mean gender surgery on a 10-year-old in Cuba? What is going on here?
That is absolute madness. That's not a parental choice. That's a kidnapping and a mutilation plot.
It's a manifestation of the devouring mother in its most literal form. The destruction of the child's physical potential to satisfy the parent's ideological delusion. It's no joke, man. To think that we have to send the FBI to Cuba to save a child from their own parent's identity? It's a tragedy that's almost too much to bear.
But it shows you that the DOJ is actually executing now. Todd Blanche is also going after denaturalization fraud, stripping citizenship from people who lied to get here.
Wait, you mean we're actually enforcing the law? Is that allowed?
Apparently. They're looking at people who misrepresented their backgrounds. Criminals, radicals. It's called Operation Iron Pursuit for a reason. It's the structural integrity of the nation being restored, piece by piece.
Oh, I'm sure the elites at the Washington Post are clutching their pearls. Oh, the cruelty of enforcing the law.
They hate you, Diane. They hate the idea that a border or a law actually means something. But look at Russia's Africa Corps in Mali. They tried to play world police in the Sahel, and they just got absolutely smoked.
The Russian security model is collapsing because it's built on sand. It's security in exchange for resources. But when Al-Qaeda-linked militants, the JNAM, actually show up to fight, the Russians were driven out of Kidal in under 24 hours.
Turns out the Africa Corps is better at mining gold than they are at fighting rebels.
You see, sovereignty isn't something you can just buy from a mercenary group. Greece is seeing it too, a migrant invasion building on the Libyan coast. The architecture of the old world is fraying, and if we don't have leaders who understand the tragedy of the individual and the necessity of the border, we're all going to be swept up in the chaos. It's all connected! The beef prices, the child predators, the Russian mercenaries, it's all the result of a ruling class that's been asleep at the wheel, or worse, actively driving us into the ditch.
Well, the common sense check for today is simple. If you don't audit your police, don't protect your children, and don't enforce your border, you don't have a country. You have a crime scene.
I mean, really? Why are they doing this? Because they think you won't notice. But we're noticing. They hate you, folks. Never forget that.
Clean your room. Tell the truth. And for heaven's sake, take some responsibility for the world around you. Roughly speaking, it's the only way out.
And keep your cross high and your wine glass full, because it's going to be a long week.
Get a helmet, people. Life is hard, and we're just getting started.